Hey guys, it's David again. We're here to make another video. I know it's not been a week, but I'm gonna try to strive to make a couple of videos per week, depending on what I feel. This one is gonna be about fear, fear and how it is good and how it's bad and how we can not have fear. Fear in my belief is totally it's not inevitable. It won't always happen. You don't always have to have it happen, and you can have this sense of no fear ever. There's this keys to not having fear would be different mindsets, different approaches, and we're going to talk about that. One quote that I based this whole thing upon was by Will Smith and After Earth 2013. It was an okay movie, but it had this quote, and I've been on this quote since 2013. Fear, this is my whole definition of fear, to a different level. It is the only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may never exist. That is near insanity. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. I have took that into another level of deep, just on an emotional level. Even life isn't hard. I mean, life isn't always easy. You have this path, and sometimes you get blocks, and these blocks create stress, fear, doubt, worrying. And so I looked at that quote and was fear is a choice. How can it be a choice if it's implemented into our lives all the time? We look at it if I mess up, I'm afraid, and I get fear inside me of what are the consequences going to be. You study for this test or you don't study for this test. You have this inner fear inside you when you're getting into that room and you're about to take that test. You look at it and you say, oh my gosh, why did I not study? I'm not ready, I'm not. But that's why the way to change that is to have no fears, to say, I know I'm not about school and I'm not for achieving higher like everybody else, but maybe I gotta step back and I gotta take a little break and I gotta study. You take your time out and you study. That's how to create that fear. That fear you can take away, but in another, fear is somewhat in a sense good. In the same sense for school, you have this deadline coming up. You're fearful of it coming up, so you take these actions and you strive to do what you need to do. It creates this goal set mindset in our heads and saying, I need to do this. I just saw a monarch butterfly out there. It's a sign. I saw one earlier today with the joke, she's a lit person, but so we're out here, and when you think of it, fear will never be inevitable. It always can. It's dependent on how you choose it to be. So for real life situations, if there's this block that comes in your life, you looking at it and you say, this is a pretty big block. I've never faced this block, the size of this block before. Last one, it was a pebble, and I could get over it. I had a little fear, but I got over that. And then this fear comes in, failure just creates this cloud of fear, what's next? What am I going to do next? I don't know. So you look at it and you say, let me take my mindset and let's reapproach this. Last one was a pebble, but this one's a block. So am I going to go around it, go back, or go over it? Going back is the running away from what you need to be going towards. In that sense, you're creating more fear, more stress, more doubt. Doubt, stress, and fear are bad in that sense. So you go around, you're really not attacking the problem at hand. Yeah, things are going to be hard when you're attacking it direct on, but it's so much more worth it when you attack it direct on. When you attack it direct on, you're saying, I'm bigger than this problem. I'm bigger than what I need to be. I'm bigger than what they think I can be. This block is maybe the world standards. The world standards say You're going to fail because you're not coming at this block head on. So you're like, okay, I'm going to take this block head on. I'm not going to go around it to meet eventually a bigger block. You go through life and you either run from blocks, you run from the path that you need to be taking, or you go around it. It ultimately builds up to be this huge block. So when you're going to this block, you're like, do I look at it and see, shout out to Saranda, she just made my day by saying she loves me. I love her too. That's my best friend. But it's like building this block. Like, it's like life. You start out with pebbles. Because we're all small. We're all little children. And we have this innocence in us. But then life comes in and it shows us this, like how real life is. There could be a situation where your grades, that could be that one situation that the block only gets bigger. You could run away from those grades, not do so hot. Or you could attack those grades. Because after the grades, it's work. And after work, it's life. Like, work leads to life. I'm talking about life as in the sense of you have a family, you have a job, you have all this needs to meet. But when we're going through life, it builds up. When we run, it gets gigantic. But when we're going straight on and attacking that block like we need to, it diminishes the blocks as we go because we get stronger and stronger with that. If we keep going on stronger and stronger, the blocks won't stop us. And that's where we create no fear. Mindset that you can use for this is if I only go forward, I'm only going to get stronger. If I go backwards, I'm not getting stronger. I'm only getting weaker. Like, I know this is like super cliche, but really, if you're going into a boxing fight, who's going to win is the one who put way more dedication and work into it. That's the person that was attacking that block straight on. It was not running. The other person may have been putting in so much work, but he was not attacking that block. He was not giving it 2,000%. So with that, you're building just so much more. And that's how to change that mindset. It can be with anything. Anything in the simplest. If you want to change that mindset of having no fear of bad grades, you study. You attack that block. Personally, I did not attack that block every single time like I need to. But this is the year because, we got to graduate. But if I would have there was this fear inside me that was like, I'm going to fail and I'm not going to be with everybody else. But really, if I would have just took that mindset of like, I'm going to attack that block. I'm going to do it. I'm going to push on. I'm going to succeed. Then I would have been successful. Maybe I am successful and maybe I'm not. There's a lot to say that maybe I'm not, but then there's a lot to say that I am. If I would have took this block straight on, I would have been even more successful than I am now. And that's just even with one thing. Like, even if you have family problems. Like, I know things, I've dealt with things. Coming up the 27th is the day that my mom passed, 2007. It's been 9 years. And I've ran up until like junior year. Like, this wasn't easy. And I get it. I understand. Like, I understand the blocks. Like, my blocks were huge. And like Chad said yesterday in his video, don't depend on people. Depend on yourself. But you can lean on people and get tips and learn from them on the way. So I have these people that I can lean on. Shout out to Saranda again. I can lean on her and tell her what I need to say. And she helps me build forward. But at the end of the day, I'm building me. And I'm going forward. So the end of junior year, it was like, okay, I'm building. I'm now going at that block. It's just not in the simplest matters of like, oh, it can be in any matter. Fear is not inevitable. Fear will never be inevitable. It will only be on the way of like success. Like, you have this fear to succeed. This fear of acknowledgement. That's the good fear. But the fear that's going to hold you back and you're scared, that is not the good fear. We are hitting up on 10 minutes. So we're going to end it on that. Shout out to Chad. Marcus. Shout out to Marcus. Monarch Motivation. Marcus Monarch. shout out to all the people that are digging this channel. Shout out to all the people that are about me. I'm about you. So if you would leave a sub, leave a like, even comments. It can be anything about anything. If you need to talk, I am here. I will give you my words of wisdom if I have any, and I will help. But for this video, it's come to an end, so peace.